So 2 days ago, Takara-Tomy Mall's website gave out a teaser of an upcoming product from their Takara-Tomy Mall website and Generation Selects. It was an image of what looked like the Abominus mold, similar to that of like we had with Volcanicus. We were like, well, it's probably going to be a show-accurate Abominus. Japan didn't get that mold, much like Volcanicus, so we're probably going to get a new release of that. And that was that. I didn't want to really report it on the news until we got more information. And just like Volcanicus, after we had that image, literally like the next day, we found out. So I waited on it. And here we are today now with all the information and everything, and a little bit extra too that we're going to discuss today. So again, Takara-Tomy Mall's website did their big reveal. Generation Selects Abominus, and what's great about this one, as opposed to, let's say, the one that we got here in America through Power of the Primes, this one comes with, on top of a cartoon-accurate or anime-accurate deco, it comes with a brand new chest, new feet, and new weapons. And the new feet are really nice because they're way more show-accurate. The new weapons are more accurate to what the characters were holding in the show during their brief appearances. But more so, it's that chest that's really cool because not only does it make it look way more accurate to how he looked in the show, but it gives Hunger a chance to also kind of do his base mode that he was not able to do with the original mold itself here in America. So it looks really nice. Again, it's something that does not surprise me. It looks like the Generation Selects line really is being used to kind of find a platform for those Power of the Prime toys and I guess Titan Return toys prior to that, and even prior to that, Combiner Wars, that didn't have a place in the Japanese market at the time. They just didn't have the price point. They didn't have maybe the selection that they wanted to do. Maybe they were trying to dial it back a little bit. And now they're finding a proper market to do these little gift sets and stuff. The plan is that this is going to come out next year in March 2021, and it's going to be 22,000 yen, so about $200. Again, way more expensive than what it would have costed you to pick up Abominus complete, one Voyager and 4 Deluxes back in the day. But you are getting the extra accessories. This is more of a premium paint scheme, and it's more of a collector's market piece. Chances are, in the secondary market, this is probably going to hold, probably going to be a $200 item, and pretty much like plateau at that permanently. So keep that in mind if you are interested in this product. Now, what else is there to talk about? Well, on top of how great this thing looks and everything, it also includes, on the website, which you could download, the next chapter of the Hayato Sakamoto comics that we've been getting from these. And what was told this time in the comic was pretty interesting. I'll just kind of give the bullet points of it, but essentially we see that the reason why we get Abominus is because the Quintessons were behind this, and the Quintessons are turning all of the Battle Masters into their prisoners, and pretty much, I guess we could call them, reformatting them into Slitherfangs, which kind of reconfirms, because when Slitherfang came out here in America as a toy, people didn't really know his allegiance or anything. We saw Quintessons in the background of his packaging art, so we assumed he was a Quintesson-based character. This confirms it even more fictional-wise. The other big thing, aside from the fact that, spoiler, it looks like Spike dies in this, so I guess this is Spike's curtain call. In the G1 cartoon continuity, he was already an old guy in this, so he gets killed by the Quintessons, but it's not 100% confirmed, but he did get shot through his chest, so chances are. But the big thing here is every single one of these, how do I put it, these Generation Selects Takara-Tomy Mall comics have always teased in the last page what the next thing was going to be. So when you go all the way back to like Super Megatron, let's say, Super Megatron, even actually, now that I think about it, even before that, even like you have the Seacons comic teasing the God Neptune repaint with the last page. and then the Seacon comic teasing Super Megatron, and then the Super Megatron page having Primus show up at the end and yell into the sky and call the Primitives, which would end up becoming Volcanicus and Grimlock. And then the Grimlock page teasing at the end, which would be here today, Abominus. So what do we have once again at the last page? Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. They're fighting, and then all of a sudden, bursting outside of the crust of the planet is Algomos energy. Algomoi energy. For people who don't know, who watched, I'm pronouncing it the Japanese way, Algomoi. Some people pronounce it Algomos, but it's Algomoi, how the Japanese pronounce it. It's Unicronian energy. And it's bursting out of the planet, and Hot Rod gets covered in it, and he turns into Rodimus Unicronus. Now, this again leads to what the Japan didn't get on their side of the ocean from Power of the Primes. They didn't get leader class Rodimus Unicronus. So the question is going to be now, is this going to be the next generation selects? How are they going to repaint it to make it different from the American counterpart? Are they going to give it extra accessories or weapons? Very interesting to see what they do here. Very, very interesting to see. Some people were suggesting, because earlier in the comic we see Ortha and pretty much Alita 1 and her crew, which had a whole bunch of Generation Select limbs and stuff like that. Some people were suggesting maybe she's going to be the next box set, pretty much, because she shows up and kind of gets covered in blots, mech fluid, to say the least. Good old Sakamoto. But no, I'm pretty much, if I had the bank on this, it's going to be Rodimus Unicronus, because it's always those last page, last panel catch to the next panel, to the next comic, that kind of leads to our suggestion of what it's going to be. So chances are our next generation selects is going to be Rodimus Unicronus. So as a Rodimus fan myself, I'm extremely intrigued at yet another thing I'm going to have to buy. But it doesn's matter, because ultimately in the end, I'm curious, where are we going to get extra weapons? Are we going to get extra accessories? Are they going to remold something? How is the paint scheme going to be? Is it going to be different than this one? Is he going to have more facial hair? Little things here and there. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do here, because this isn't clearly Shattered Glass. This is something that's more influenced by Unicronian energy and turning over to that. And I mean, that again is one of the many different ways that we've had evil Rodimuses throughout the years. We have Unicronian energy Rodimuses. We've had evil clones by Shockwave Rodimuses. We've had Shattered Glass Rodimuses. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I hope to see what we get in the future with this. But yeah, if you're interested in pre-ordering Abominus here, again, 22,000 yen, probably a good deal now, because I'm kind of worried what the secondary market price is going to be on this, because it's more show accurate. But if you're happy with your old original one, I know Jaws D, he went out of his way to complete this years ago, and he was very happy with it. Abominus was one of his favorites growing up. So pretty cool stuff. Let me know what you think. Awesome.